Toby, we are live. You can start.
Okay, all right, cool, fantastic. So, practically from the last class, we covered our introduction to machine learning. Remember, we talked about what machine learning is all about. So, I'll kind of do a brief recap on what machine learning is and what it really entails. Yeah. So, I have here that what machine learning is a technique that uses statistics and mathematics to create a model that can predict unknown values. Let's say we actually want to predict, let's say you want to predict I said it last class, that was about 2 weeks ago. So let's say you want to predict the price of a commodity. Yes, let's say you want to predict the price of a commodity or the price of an house, like the project we'll actually be working on today. Let's say you want to predict the price of an house or thereabout. um Machine learning can actually create a model that can actually predict based on what, on the data it has. Are you with me? Such that I'm actually predicting, let me say, like from your mathematics, whereby we have f of, like, sorry, y is equals to what, a function of x. Are you with me? So now you're actually trying to do what? You're actually having what? You're actually trying to predict what based on your what? Based on your what? On your y value. Are you with me? So that y is equals to what, f of x. So that's what machine learning is really all about. It is a technique that uses statistics, mathematics to what, to create a model that can predict unknown values. That's what machine learning is all about. And it is very advisable for us to actually have a knowledge of statistics. It's really advisable for us to have a knowledge of statistics. Really advisable. Whereby we talk about your null hypothesis, that's your normal distribution and the likes. But I don't know if God if God does it, that actually take you. Let me see. I can actually take you next Thursday or there. But if God does, well, I will actually do some little start and all. If God does it. So now, we actually have types of machine learning. We have your supervised learning, we have your unsupervised learning, and we have your reinforcement learning. Yeah, your reinforcement learning is that's where we actually talk about your TensorFlow, we talk about keras and all what have you. But now, what is this your supervised learning? I wrote it here. Your supervised learning is a type of what, machine learning that is used to predict functions with a known value. An example of this your supervised learning, an example, I didn't give an example here, sorry, but an example of your supervised learning is, I actually said it earlier, is what predicting the price of a commodity or predicting the price of what, of houses or thereabout. That's actually an example of what, of a supervised learning. Now, this same supervised learning is now divided into two. We have, I guess I wrote it here, yeah. We have your what, yeah. We have your what, we have your classification and your what, and your regression models. Are you with me? Now, your classification models is let me say, is more or less like you're actually trying to predict probably a person has this thing or a person does not have this thing. So it's more or less like a yes or no answer, like a yes or no prediction. That's what you're actually trying to do. A yes or no prediction. Like, see what I actually wrote here now. Classification is used to what, to predict discrete values, like what, like a class label. Example is what, predict whether what a patient has diabetes or not. So now this one is actually telling me that, okay, does a patient have diabetes, or does a patient do not what, have diabetes? That's what your classification problem is trying to solve. Do you have diabetes? Yes. You do not have diabetes. Okay, no, or thereabout. Are you with me? Such that if you have diabetes, like patient that actually have diabetes, I'm actually assigning what, a one variable to a patient that actually has diabetes. That means yes, this patient actually has what, diabetes. That's number one. Okay, fine. Yes, this patient has diabetes. But if it is zero, that means the patient does not have diabetes. That is what your classification problem is trying to solve. It is actually a yes or no predictions. Are you with me? But prior to your regression, it is stated here that what, it is used to predict what, continuous values or what, or labels. I gave an example: prices of what, commodities, sales of what, of some particular commodities. Now, in a, let me say, in a supermarket or thereabouts, or in a big, yeah, in a big firm, like in a big supermarket, let me use like ShopRite or there about that. Okay, I actually want to give, I want to predict the price of this particular commodity. Then I can actually use what my regression problem to what to solve that particular problem. And some of your regression models we actually have you have your logistic regression, we have your linear regression, we have your random forest regressor, and so on and so forth. Those are actually your regression models. And prior to your classification models, we have your random forest classifier. Yes, we have your I guess we have your, is it SVM or there, but yeah, we have so many classification models. Like we have a whole lot of them. But the understanding I actually want you guys to have is that your machine learning actually divided into what three basic types. Please note it. The first one is what your supervised learning. The second one is what your unsupervised learning, and the third one is what your reinforcement learning. Your reinforcement learning, that's actually a different aspect entirely, and that's your deep learning. Are you with me? That's your deep learning entirely. Whereby we'll be talking about your TensorFlow and your Keras. But in ML, we're actually concerned with your what? With our supervised learning, our what, and our unsupervised learning. It is now when you actually want to start, probably you want to on your own, you want to start learning about deep learning. That's when you can now start doing reinforcement learning or thereabout. Then you know that you know about your computer visioning, yeah, you know about TensorFlow and what have you. But practically in this course, we'll be talking about your supervised learning and your unsupervised learning most of the time. Is that understood? And I said a supervised learning is a type of machine learning used to predict what functions with a known label. And the types of your supervised learning are what? Are your classification and your regression. Are you with me? And what is your classification? It is used to predict discrete values like what? Like a class label. Example is your what? Predict whether a patient has what diabetes or what a patient does not have what diabetes. Soft. Now your regression is used to predict continuous values or labels. Example is what prices of commodities and what sales of some particular commodities is quite understandable. So I actually feel we've actually gotten this part because we talked about it last class. I'm just trying to do a brief recap of the class. Now, what is our unsupervised learning? Our unsupervised learning is what? It is used to predict function with what? With unknown labels. That I don't know this particular label, then I can use my unsupervised learning to talk about that. And I guess an example is your clustering or thereabout. So I guess in the as we continue the course, we'll learn more about clustering and the like. So now, practically, the main purpose of this class is to talk about what building a simple regression model. Don't worry, I guess I would like I actually told Michael, yeah, I would I guess I would on GitHub, yeah, I would create a GitHub organization whereby I'll push all these codes to the GitHub organization. So every one of us will actually have access to the codes. So to not be as if I'll be sending the notebook to the group chat or thereabout. I'll just put it up on GitHub. Then you guys can actually fork it later. Don't worry, if time permits, we'll talk about your Git and GitHub. I actually told Mike earlier, yeah, we'll actually talk about Git and GitHub and how you can actually push your code there. Don't worry, it is nothing so serious. It's nothing hard. I'll actually teach you the very simplest way to go about it. Just go to your GitHub, you upload your files and what have you. Don't worry, it is nothing hard. So let's continue. Now, building a simple regression model. You should now you will agree with me that for every machine learning code or thereabout, there are actually some libraries we have to consider. There are actually some libraries we actually have to consider, and these libraries are your pandas. Pandas is actually for reading for reading your files. If your files are actually in CSV format, or actually in Excel format, or actually in whatsoever and whatever, we actually have different kinds of formats that we can actually read our data set in. Now, this your pandas is mainly for actually reading your your data set, yeah, your data set and the likes. And yeah, this same your pandas, there are so many, so many so many stuffs attached to our pandas, but you actually have to go learn that on your own. Yeah, you have to go learn that on your, whereby we actually talk about the slicing and thereabout, but you go learn that on your own, I guess. But if there's actually another class, then we'll actually take a look at the pandas entirely. Now, some of those libraries that actually said that your pandas, your numpy are mainly for what? For integers, which are what? Yeah, which we actually classify as a what? As your arrays. Are you with me? Now we have pandas, we have numpy, we have your what? We have your matplotlib. Now this your matplotlib is actually your what? This guy matplotlib is, let me write it here, is actually your what? Your visualization what? Library. Yeah, exactly, your visualization library, your matplotlib, and your what? And your cball. Sorry. And your Seaborn, yeah, they're actually your what? Your visualization library to actually what? Visualize your data set, such that you actually plot your what? We actually have different kinds of plots here. We have your what? We have your scattered plots, we have your pair plots, we have your we have your bar plots, yes, we have your histogram, yes, we have so many, like we have so many of them, and we actually use our matplotlib and Seaborn to what? To plot all those things we actually want to plot. So now they're actually different. There are different libraries. There are different libraries we actually have to talk about. But the main one you actually have to stick on your head or to your head, actually, these ones are actually made mention. Your pandas, your numpy, your matplotlib, and your what? And your Seaborn. These are actually the ones you actually have to stick in your head to put in your head that, okay, fine, okay, before I actually start anything in my machine learning, I have to actually import all these libraries. First thing first. Then when I actually import all these libraries, then all other libraries that I actually want to use, then they can actually come later. Are you with me? Because if I actually start importing different libraries, sorry, if I start importing different libraries such that, okay, I import them from sklearn.preprocessing, yeah, then import what? Let me see, import, let me see, label encoder or thereabout. Okay, yeah, label encoder, cool. Now, I don't know if in the long run I'll actually be using my label encoder. I don't know. Or if I say from sklearn dot what dot okay, let me see, the linear model. Okay, import what? Linear regression. Yeah, import what? Linear regression. Now, I don't know if the model I'll be using also is what? Is linear regression. And I also don't know if I'll actually be using what? My label encoder. So just have it at the back of your head that what, that the main libraries that your ML actually, that we actually have to take note in our ML are all these what? Four libraries, which are what? Your pandas, your numpy, your matplotlib, and your what? And your Seaborn. Please take note of those four libraries. They are very, very important. They are so important tools of your machine learning. Now, that being said, let's now move on. I actually said, okay, now to read our data set, I said our pandas library is actually used to what? To read our data set. So now I actually did what? Df is equals to what? Pd dot read underscore CSV. Yes or yes? Now let me run this stupid guy. Okay. I said what? Df. Okay, I can actually call this guy any name. I can actually call it any name. I can say df1. I can call it df1. I can call it df2, or I can call it new underscore df. Or okay, don't let me use df. I can call it. Let me give it a name. I can call it. Let's see. Okay, I can call it what? Housing. Yeah, I can call it housing. Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. I can call it housing. See, I can actually assign any variable to what? To my data frame, depending on the one that I can actually work with. Are you with me? So that's just like, but in this case, I actually want to call it what? DF, because DF is actually the most common one, so far. The most common one so far, it is what? DF. So if I run this guy, if I run that guy, I'm coming. Yeah, sure. It has actually run for me already now. You see, it has run already for me. df is equals to what pd dot read underscore csv, because my what my data set is in what is in the csv format. But if at all is in an Excel format, I actually have it here. I wrote it down for you guys. Then I'll use pd.read underscore xlsx. Then I'll call in my what my housing. Are you with me? Dot whatsoever. I guess xlxx or whatever. Are you with me? That is if it is in an Excel format. I'll do this. Also, if it is in different format or thereabout, you can just call in your what your df and put in your what your data frame or there your pandas data frame to read your data set underscore whatever. If it is in dj gj whatever format, then I'll just call in the function, then put in whatever. Are you with me, guys? So it is literally nothing hard. Reading our data set is nothing hard. Similarly, yes, I actually want to talk about this because I don't know, it is kind of a problem. So yeah, I actually want to talk about this now. If you actually want to read if your data set, literally if it is in a url format, I repeat, if your data set is in a what in a url format, what will you do? You put in your what your pd.read. Are you with me? Dot what the url. Are you with me, guys? Then you will now fix in the URL. If the URL is from Google, you copy the old URL and paste it where you actually what? Sorry, I said dot URL, sorry, underscore URL. Yeah, sure. You then paste it where? Inside where you actually want to read your data set. Yeah, I actually remember. I have to talk about this. So, and take note, if you're actually reading a URL data set, your data or your what your system must actually be connected to what to a data, like to a data source. Like that means like it will be connected to an to an internet, yeah, to an internet. Yeah. So when you actually read it, your your Python package will already know that okay, fine, I'm picking this URL from what? From this particular site. So it tend to go to that site to actually download the data set from that site. Are you with me? So when you're now calling your what your df, definitely what the data set from that site will actually show in your what in your Python package. Are you with me, guys? So let's move on. So let's move on real quick. Let's move on real quick. Let's move on real quick. Yeah, sure. So now I called my df. I read the packet. Df is equal to pd.read underscore csv. Then I called the data set. Now listen. If I actually put this guy in capital letter, if I put this guy in capital letter, let's see what it will give me. If it will read, I don't know. Wow, did he read? Oh, fantastic. It read. Okay, cool. But then I guess the reason why it is reading is because I'm actually using my VS Code. Yeah, I guess that's why it's reading, because I'm actually using my VS Code. Sort of. Okay, let's see something. My DF. Okay, it's the same thing. It's reading. Okay, no issues. Now, but if I'm actually using my Jupyter notebook, that if I'm using my Anaconda prompt, this guy that actually wrote in capital letter, the phrase they actually wrote in capital letter, it would not run. Yeah, it would not run. It would not. Because your Anaconda already, since you've actually exported the data set to your Anaconda, it automatically wants you to actually write it the way you actually exported your data set. If you actually put in any different misspelling or there, but it will return an error. Are you with me? So I guess it's because I'm actually using my VS Code. That's why this guy is not returning an error. But no issues. Let's move on. So I've called in my data set. Then I can now call in like my old data set by calling what df. Okay, soft. Now I now said now check for the what for the info of the what of the data set. If I want to check for the info of the data set, I'll just use my what my df.info function. Then I'll check for the info of the data set. Yeah. So I have this. So now when I check for the info of my data set, please let's go through. Let's walk through this thing together. Let's walk through this thing together. Yeah, because we're actually going to do our model deployment too today by God's grace. Now, when I did df.info, it gave me all the information about the data set, such that my longitude is a float, my latitude is a float. Yeah, I guess they should have actually taught you guys float and your normal integer. Now your float basically, should I talk about this, or I don't know. But you guys know what float is, please. Someone should just respond, so I'll not have to talk about what float is, please. Do you guys know what float is? Hello, guys. Oh, sweet Jesus. So, okay, no problem then. So now, your float data set, your float type is always in the form. Let me say, it's always in your decimal form. Let me say 45 point. Let me say 56. Are you with me? This is a float data type. We have 65.98 whatever. This is what a float like data type. Are you with me? But your integer is always what, let me see, it's always a whole number, 676, 786, 89, whatever. So these are actually what your integer and your float. Those are actually the difference. Are you with me, guys? So let's move on. Now actually check the info of the data set. Now, it gave me all the columns. It gave me the longitude column, latitude, house median, age, total rooms, total bedrooms, and what have you. Now, for the longitude, it is a float. Latitude also a float. The only exception we have in this data set is your what? Is your ocean proximity. Yeah, is your what? Ocean proximity. Now, ML, when creating a machine learning model, I don't want to see object data type, because your model will not actually recognize object data types. They either recognize what integer or float data type. Are you with me, guys? Those are the only um two data type your machine learning model actually recognize. Those are actually the only two data type they actually recognize. Now, let's look. See, if you look through this info, you agree with me that we have 20,640 non-null values, but there's only one exception also. My total bedroom is what? It has what? 20,433 non-null values. That means it is actually having let me say, if I minus 20,000 if I minus 20,600 and what 40 minus what 20,433. That means it is telling me that what, that 207 what non-values. That means there are 207 NA values. Are you with me? Are you with me? NA is the same thing as what, as non-values. So now I know that what my total bedroom has what 207 non-values. So then that leads me to my what, to perform what we call my exploratory data analysis, whereby I have to what, clean my data set. So I would have to what, create a clean model. Are you with me? Then I have to deploy. Do you guys get the gist? Because if I actually say I leave my total bedrooms like this, and what, I create my model and what have you, at the long run, what my model will be giving me, it will actually be giving me an error that so y values does not, I guess it will be giving me an error that probably y values does not correlate with the x values, or x values is supposed to have a particular argument by 6 by 6 column or 5 by 5 columns, and it is actually giving this. Are you with me, guys? So we have to clean this stupid particular guy very, very well. Same thing with my what, auction proximity, which I have to what, convert to what an integer data type. Are you with me, guys? So soft. Let's move on. Oh, sorry, this is actually a mistake. I have to delete this, I guess. Abi? Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, fine. Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, now, first thing first, what I did. Now, listen. Please, you guys should listen very well, please. What I did here, what I did here is very, 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 very simple. I said that what my total bedrooms as what it has. Okay, before then, I'm sorry, guys. Before then, let me write this. Let me write. Hey, sorry, guys. Before then, okay, let me do this. Df the what the is null. Are you with me? The what dot sum. Now, What is this function telling me? It is actually telling me to what, to bring out all known values from my data set. So now if I shift enter this stupid guy, it actually gave me all the known values, such that my longitude does not have any missing values. Latitude also does not have any missing. The only guy that actually has a missing value is my total Belgium, and that's what 207 missing values, like I said earlier. So now if I now go back to my total bedrooms, it is a what? It is a float data type. So what can I do to this float data type? I can actually say, I can actually fill it up. I can actually fill the missing values with, I can fill it up with anything. I can fill it up with the mode. I can fill it up with the median. I can fill it up with the mean. And I can also fill it up with what? With an unknown, depending on what I want to do. Or I can also drop it, that particular, so I can also drop the non-values in that particular column. Are you guys getting this? I actually made mention of 4 to 5 things we can do. It is either I fill it up with the mean, or I fill it up with the what? With the median, or I fill it up with the mode, or I actually drop that what? I actually drop that particular. I actually drop the non-values. That's the missing values in that particular column. Now, see what I did here. I actually decided to what? To fill it up with their mean. Are you with me? I actually decided to fill it up with the mean of this particular guy. I actually decided to fill it up with the mean of the what? Of the total bedrooms. Are you with me? So now I can decide to assign any variable to what? To the main, such that if I call this variable, let me say I call this variable what? MFB. You can see now, you can see something that what, that this particular guy is giving me an error. It is giving me an error because I've actually changed the what, the variable name I actually assigned to this particular guy. Are you guys with me? Now, the reason why I'm actually assigning a particular variable to this particular guy, to the main function, is because I actually want to fill in that particular column, the total bedroom, like the non-values. I actually want to fill them with with an integer, such that I do not want the missing values to be a float. Are you with me? I actually want to fill them with what? Integer data types. I don't want it to be float. Are you guys with me? That's why I'm actually what, assigning to a variable. Then I'll not call in that variable again by what? By importing math. Now, what does this math do? This math tend to erase what? My float, such that it tends to erase this part, like this point whatsoever, point 87 whatsoever. It tends to erase those parts out of what? Out of my mean value, or out of what? Out of the particular what number, out of a particular number. That's what this my math function just says. That's just what it says. It is nothing hard. It is nothing hard. Just follow me suit. Just follow me suit. I guess I'll have to spend like I don't know, probably 2 hours for this class. So now, yeah, I was actually saying that what, my VS Code was actually giving me an error in this particular guy, because what, I actually changed the variable name. I actually used MTB before, but now I actually changed the variable name to what? MFB. So now that's why this my VS Code is actually giving me a particular error, because it does not know, it is not, it is actually telling you that what, okay, guy, you've changed this particular variable name, give me this particular variable name you actually changed to, so I will actually know that, okay, yes, this is the particular variable name I'm working with. But in your Anaconda prompt, sorry, in your Jupyter notebook here, are you with me? If you change the variable name and come back and actually write this same particular guy, and you didn't assign, like you didn't give in this same variable name, it's actually return an error. Are you with me? But you already know my VS Code is actually telling me that this thing outing familiar. Okay, let me look at my code again and let me what? Change. Are you guys understanding this thing? It is very, very simple. So I'll change this guy to what? To MFB. Now, you see, when I actually change this guy to MFB, I'm not seeing any particular this thing again. It's actually telling me, okay, fine, yes, you assign the particular variable name to be MFB. Okay, fine, you actually, okay, let me print this particular guy. Let me print, okay. print MFB. Yeah, good. So now, if I say print MFB, you actually know what it will actually print. Yeah, it will actually print your particular function. So definitely my VS Code already knows that. Okay, yes, I'm working with what MFB already. So now I've actually taken the mean of this particular guy of my total bedrooms. I've taken the mean already, and I've what printed out the mean. Now, when I printed out the mean, it gave me what a float data type. Now, if I actually say, okay, let's let's fill this particular total bedroom with this MFB, like with the mean we actually got with this MFB, it will actually fill it up with F537.8705, and it actually do what it is a whole lot to fill in my data, like my to fill in the what the missing values with actually a whole lot. So let's actually apply common sense. Yeah, we're actually wise, so let's actually apply a simple common sense by saying, okay, we actually know there's a particular what library, or there's a particular function in what in Python that can actually what that can approximate, or that can actually curb my float data type to what to give me a whole number. And what is that library, or what is that particular function? That library is what we call what our math library. Are you with me? It is an inbuilt library, no worries, you don't need to install. It's actually an inbuilt library. So I can now say, okay, import math. Now I've actually imported my math now. Okay, then let's see how this particular math works. Let's see how it works. Then I actually assigned another variable. You guys should see this thing is not hard. It's nothing hard. It's very, very simple. I assigned a variable to what to my main function. I guys I assigned a particular variable to my main function. Then I printed that particular variable name. Then it gave me what 537 point whatever. That is the main of my what of my total bedrooms. But if I say I should fill in like my total bedrooms with this whole number, like with this number 537.870552537561 it is a whole lot to fill in my missing values with this thing. So why not apply wisdom and say, okay, let me just give this particular guy, let me just fill it up with what with whole numbers. Are you with me, guys? Let's apply wisdom and fill it up with what with whole numbers. So that's what I actually just did here. And to actually fill it up with whole numbers, that's when we actually have your math function. Are you with me? Sorry, your math library. Yes, your math library. So that's what I did. I actually imported my math library. So when I imported my math library, then I now called it in again into what into this what MFB guy, which is the variable name I actually assigned to what to my main function. Are you guys with me? So now I'll come here and what and change this particular guy to be MFB. So I actually gave this particular guy name also to what flood mean. Sorry, MF. Okay, MFB. I can call it anything. MFB. Cool. Yeah. So I actually gave it the variable name flood mean MFB is equal to math.flow MFB. So if you call in this particular guy, let's print it. Let's print it. Let's see if we print it here. Okay, let's print it. Okay, if you print this particular guy, it's still giving my what my 537. So now I've actually erased the part of what of this float from what from actually from the main function. Are you with me? Now I'm actually left with my what with my own number. So I can now what fill in the missing values in my total bedroom column with this particular variable, because it's this particular variable actually assigned to what to the math.flow of this particular function. Are you guys with me? So now if I actually call in this particular guy here, MFB, such that I actually call him my DF of total bedroom, the column is equals to what DF the column of what my total bedroom, the fill now of what of my what with I actually filled it with what flood mean MFB. So if I actually fill this particular guy, then it has actually run. Then let's now call, yeah, let's now call. Are you guys with me? Let's now call our DF the what? Because it's null. One thing I love about VS Code, but the what the sum. Cool. Now you can see that there is no missing values here again. So now I'm done with what my flawed mean what sorry with my total with cleaning my what my total bedroom. I'm actually done to an extent such that there's no missing values again in all the what in all the data sets. Are you guys with me? So now let's continue. Let's move on, guys. So okay, sorry, this let me delete this here. Okay. Let me delete this, I guess. Okay. So now, yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay, let me delete this. Cool. And let me delete this. Yeah, soft. Okay, now I actually called him my DF again. Yeah, I actually called my guy my DF again, and what it gave me what it's still what 20,000 40 rows by what by 10 columns. But you should agree with me, guys, that I've not actually really cleaned my data sets. I've not really cleaned it like very well. Because if you come up here, I still have my object type here. I still have my object type here in my ocean proximity. I still have my object type. So now I made mention of something that what if you actually want to convert object type to what to integer or thereabout, there are different things you can actually use. I can actually use my what my PD dot get dummies. Yeah, I actually said it here. I can actually use my label encoder. I can actually use my ordinal encoder. Yeah, I can actually use my ordinal encoder and what have you. So now I'll actually give you guys I'll just tell you guys how to use your this thing, your PD.get dummies guy. Now, in order to use this, your PD.get dummies, now it is just simple. Just calling that stupid guy, your DF ocean proximity. Just calling your ocean proximity, then it's equals to sorry, what's the DF, then calling your what ocean proximity. Sorry, then you now do your PD the what the get. See, now VS Code is actually telling me that okay, yes, PD.getDom is actually present. Then I'll just and click enter, then PD.getDom is then DF of what ocean proximity, calling the particular what the particular distance. Then you now come outside because your PD.getDom can actually take two arguments. The first argument is what is probably is the column firstly. Then the second argument is what you actually want to drop let me say the first part of the column. So you now to drop underscore first. Are you with me? Is equals to what? True. Yeah. Drop underscore first is what is equals to 3. Sorry. That's actually using your what? Your PD.get dummies whatever. Now, in your leisure time, you guys can actually just play around this your what PD.get dummies. But prior to me, the only time I actually PD.get dummies most of the time is actually when I see that my model is not performing as expected, then I'll tend to what to enlarge my data set. Then that's when I actually use my PD.get dummies. But left to me, I actually love using what label encoder because label encoder is just sweet and what and straightforward. It takes you straight to the answer, like it just takes you straight to it. So now you actually import your label encoder from what from sklearn the what dot pre-processing. So let's move on. They actually assigned my label encoder to what a particular variable name le. I can actually give it any name. I can give it any name I want to give it. I can give it any name. See, you guys should just note something that what all those variable name I'm actually assigning to all these guys, to all these functions. You should note that I can actually give it any name, like any name. When I mean any name, like any names. But provided that you actually know that okay, fine, yes, I'm actually working with this particular variable name. But it should however be noted that even if you want to assign a variable name to a particular function or to a particular module or thereabout, you should have it at the back of your head that it should be in accordance to what you are working with. Let's say I'm actually working with, let's say I'm actually working with ordinal encoder now. I'm working with what? Let me say ordinal encoder, sorry. I actually want to work with ordinal what? Encoder. Sorry, it's actually giving me an error because I didn't spell it very well. Yeah, cool. Are you kidding me? Oh, I didn't put it's supposed to be in parentheses. Sorry, in bracket, let me go bracket. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm coming. Oh. The reason why it's actually giving me this error, sorry, is because I've not actually imported, I've not actually imported my ordinal encoder from what sklearn or pre-processing. Yeah, that's why it's actually giving me this error. Now, what was I saying? I was saying if you actually want to assign a variable name to a particular function or thereabout, you have to make it in accordance with what you're working with. See, I can't be working with ordinal encoder and then I will not give this variable name. Let me see, FG. No, it's actually not making sense. Yeah, it's not making sense because I will like say okay, FG is equals to ordinal encoder, but if you actually give FG is equals to ordinal encoder, like someone that's actually reading your code, your line of code, like a, let me say, not a Python person, let's say just a normal random person actually reading your line of code and you see FG is equals to ordinal encoder, they will be like, what is the correlation? How is FG is equals to what ordinal encoder? Like how? Everything. But if I actually say okay, OE is equals to ordinal encoder, then definitely the person are telling you that okay, yes, fine, ordinal encoder, okay, OE, then okay, fine, yes, it's actually what okay is along the line. Are you guys with me? So, writing codes also, simplicity is also part of writing your codes. Simplicity and what, and I guess clarity or thereabout. So when people actually go to your GitHub or thereabout to actually check your line of code, they actually understand that okay, fine, this is what this particular person is doing. I guys understanding the G. So that's so now let's move on now. Actually assign early to my label encoder function. So when I'm now calling this particular guy, then okay, it knows that okay, fine. I've actually assigned this variable name to my label encoder. Now I'll now call my what my auction proximity, which I actually want to convert to a what to an integer type. I'll now call in the column, then fit it and transform simultaneously the particular column. So if I do this particular guy and I come down here and I do df ocean proximity dot what dot unique. If I do this particular guy, you see, sorry, I'm coming. Oh. I didn't run this guy. That's why I didn't run this guy. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sure, I didn't run this guy. Okay, cool. So if I now do this guy, now you see it has actually given me a what an array of what of numbers. So that numbers are what 30142. But when I didn't run these guys earlier, when I didn't run all these guys earlier, you can see that it actually gave me the object type that it gave me near A, it gave me what have you, like near B and what have you. But when I now use my label encoder function, then it gave me what arrays of what of numbers. Are you guys with me? Are you guys following suit? So now let's continue. Let's continue, guys. I have to be fast. Oh, I actually called in df unique somewhere here. So okay, so let's continue. So when I actually called my DF now, when I now called my DF back again, my ocean proximity, if you look at the column here, it's actually giving me 333333111, what have you. Are you guys with me? So now let's move on. Okay. So now, having cleaned our data set and all, we've filled in missing values with the mean. We've actually converted object type to what to integer data type. So now, what is left for me to do is what? Let me now split the data set. Are you guys with me? Let's now there are actually some future engineering stuff we actually do, but I don't want to talk about it now. So it won't really confuse us. Yeah, so it won't really confuse us. We actually have that's when we actually use your K fold and your grid search CV. Don't worry, I won't talk about it. So it won't really confuse us. It won't really confuse us. But I actually talk about your standard scaler. That's when you're actually standardizing. You're actually trying to standardize your data set. That's your trained data set. We're trying to standardize between what 0 to 1. You actually have your standardization and you have your what your normalization. Are you guys with me? So you guys can actually go up online and see stuff about your standardization and what and your normalization. So let's continue because I want us to actually do the model deployment today. I want it. Yeah, I want us to do that. So now having cleaned my data set and all, then I splitted it. I splitted it such that my x is equal to a df dot drop median house value, and the axis I specify the axis to be equals to 1. Are you guys with me? Then my y, which is the target variable, which I actually want to predict, which is the target variable. What I'm trying to predict is what the price of that particular house. Are you guys with me? And in sense, like in quote, this your median house value is kind of telling me that it's kind of telling me the value, yeah, the value attached to that particular house in terms of what of price. Are you guys with me? In terms of what? In terms of what? Of a particular price. But yes, in most data sets that I've actually worked with, yeah, that I worked with during I guess during one hackathon like that, they will actually give you your trained data set and your test data set separately, such that in your trained data set, your target variable is in is in your trained data set. I guys, now in this particular guy, I'm not giving my trained data set and I'm not giving my test data set. It is left for me to what to split it into my trained data set and my test data set. Are you guys with me? Such that my x is what is all other columns, like is my longitude, latitude, housing median age, total rooms, total bedrooms, population, household, median income, and my ocean proximity. That is my what my variable x. But my variable y is what is now the target feature. My variable y is the what is the target feature. And what is the target feature? The target feature is my median house value. And I actually made explanation that my median house value is the what is the value of the house based on what on price. Are you with me? Is the value of the house on what on price. So now on splitting this particular guy, if I run this particular guy now, yeah, it has actually one, it has definitely splitted my data set for me now. Are you with me? Such that my x variable is what is everything aside my what my median house value, and my y variable is what is everything. Sorry, is only my median house value, which is my target variable. Now see, you guys should take note of something in some line of code. You can see, yeah, let me comment to this guy. You will see something like x is equals to what df. Now you pass in what you pass you see a dictionary or thereabout, yeah, sure. You pass in two bracket or two parentheses or thereabout. Then you now call in all those columns. Yeah, you call in all those columns you actually want. Latitude, yeah, not in most latitude, not in most cases you actually see it like this. It's not in most cases you see it like this, guys. So I'm actually telling you another ways you can actually see it. Latitude, something like this, comma. I have longitude, comma, then I have then the other columns like that, and what have you guys. That's what we have. That's in most, in sorry, not in most, in some line of codes, you can either see this or what, or you see this. Just take note, please. You can actually see this or what, or you see this particular guy. So if you see this thing, don't say, okay, they didn't teach me or about. Just have at the back of your head. So now, having assigning my columns to different variables, and I can now come here and what and split it by using my train split, my train test split. Yeah, my train test split, such that I will have my train data set and my test data set. Your train test please actually is it comes with, it's from your sklearn. Yeah, your sklearn actually has so many libraries to attach to it. There are like so many things. So now is that your train test please from your what from your sklearn. So actually say from what from sklearn the what model selection import what train test split good. Then you call in your what your x train x test y test equals to train test split whatsoever. Then you now call in this your guy x comma y. Then you specify the text size. I can specify the text size at 0.44, 0.42 or thereabout, 0.333 or thereabout. So let me use 0.3 here. I can actually assign a different random state. Let's give it a random state of 42, a random state of 102, or anyhow I actually want it. Now, if I give it a random state of 102, if I run this particular guy, it has actually run. It gives me it ran already. But I actually want to do something, guys. If you go back to your this thing, to my data set, this is my median, yeah, my target variable, Christ Jesus, my median house underscore value. If I actually go back to it, you would see that the values are actually quite large. The values are actually quite large. That's why I actually did something. I tend to actually what standardize my what my data like my trained data set. Are you guys with me? I try to what um to standardize my trained data set such that I actually called in my what my sklearn preprocessing and imported what my standard scalar. Then I assigned it to what a particular variable. Then I fit it in into what my X train, which was just my trained data set, and I came back to what to transform the particular guy. Are you with me? Are you with me, guys? So soft. So now after standardizing my data set, then I came here and what and built my model. So I actually use my what my random forest regressor. Yeah, that's actually a very fantastic model to use. Yeah, that's actually very because so far so good. If I'm actually working, yeah, if I'm actually working with any data set, the first thing that comes to my head, the first model that actually comes to mind is always random forest regressor. And if random forest regressor does not work, I actually use my XG boost. Yeah, my XGB regressor. And if my XGB regressor do not work, then I'll just use any other regressor I actually want to use. I really don't use my logistic regression and linear regression and what have you. Yeah, I really don't. I don't know why, but I really don't fancy using them. Yeah, but you guys should actually know them. Yeah, you guys should actually know your linear regression and your logistic regression. But as time goes on, like you will know that your random forest regressor is actually a very fantastic model to use, a really fantastic model. So I actually imported my what my random forest regressor from what sklearn.ensemble. Then I gave this particular guy my model whatever. Then I actually gave it the model. Sorry, assigned the variable name to my random forest regressor. And if I run this particular guy, let's see. Okay, yeah, it has run already for me. All right then. So now running it already now, and I came back to what to fit in my what my trained data set into what into my what my model. Are you guys with me? I actually came back to what to fit in my trained data set into what into my model. Yeah, because I have to do that. I actually have to fit it before I actually make predictions. Sorry guys, please you guys should actually give me a minute, please guys. I'll be back like soon. Please give me a minute here. Please guys, I'm coming. All right, guys. So we can move on. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we can move on. Yeah. So we can continue. Now, I actually have to fit in my my trained data set into the what into the model. Now you agree with me that what I've actually normally I was supposed to do x underscore train, yeah. I was supposed to do this. But the reason why I didn't do this is because I actually what I've scaled my what I've standardized my what my X train exactly from this point, such that I actually assigned a particular variable name to my X train. That is why I'll be using my X train directly. I'll be using my what my rescaled. Oh, yes, code. I love you. My rescaled X. Are you with me? So if I not fit in this particular guy, I fit in this particular guy. Are you kidding me? Oh, it returned an error because I didn't spell it very well, I guess. Okay. They said rescaled X is not defined because I didn't run this particular guy. So let me run this particular guy now. If I run this guy, okay, I run this guy and I run this guy. So let's see if our model, if it will fit in our model. Let's see. Okay, so I've actually fitting my model into this particular guy, model the fit using my rescaled X and my Y train. So now I can now make predictions. So if I make predictions, the prediction is equal to what? My model, which is this particular guy, and for it regressor. I'll call it my model, right? They'll predict based on my what on my X test. Are you with me, guys? Cool. So now this now having created my model and having done predictions. Are you with me, guys? Having created my model or having done prediction. Okay, wait. First thing first. Sorry. Um, Based on all what I've said so far, does anybody have Does anyone have a question, please? Does anyone have a question? Please, if you have a question, just see that you actually say it, or you can actually just use the chat or whatever. Do you have any question, please, guys? Do you have any question based on all what we've said earlier, of all what I've said earlier, please? Just let me know. Do you have a question? Let me wait for about 1 minute to see if anyone have a question. Let's see.
Yeah, there are no questions so far.
Okay,
No
okay then,
questions.
okay then.
Someone just gave some suggestions on how to undo missing data in the YouTube. Can you see the YouTube comments from your end?
No, I can't see the missing. I can't see the
I
YouTube
think you
comment here.
can. I think you should be able to see the YouTube. Okay, no problem. All
I'm
right,
not
you
seeing
can
it.
continue.
Okay, all right then, no issues then. All right. So I've made predictions. I've done all the things needed for me to do. Oh, sweet Jesus. Please, you guys. Okay, no worries. I guess the person has called. So I've actually made predictions and done everything I actually need to do. Now we are now actually have to talk about our model deployment, because one thing about ML is I haven't done everything. Like I haven't done all codes. I've written down on our codes. I've been performing our exploratory data analysis after doing our feature engineering, using our K-fold, using our grid search, using everything that we've actually used. If you actually do not deploy, actually, like, it is, yeah, Paul, is it Paul Labato Bajo thereabout on Twitter? I actually said that after writing all your codes, you did everything, your EDA, feature engineering, everything, and you don't deploy, like you don't deploy for production, then what is now the essence of doing machine learning? You grab. So deployment in machine learning is really, 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 really key. Yeah, it's really, really very, very important. We actually have different ways of deploying our machine learning model. We have different ways. We have using Streamlit. We have using your Flask. Yeah, we have been using your Flask, whereby you have to. Flask is very crazy, but it is soft. Whereby you actually have to write the code from scratch. But for your Streamlit is actually a that is actually a which English will I use? Which English can I use? Will I use automatic or is actually okay, it's a site. Okay, let me put it that way. It's a site or an app basically. The very good UI is an app with a very good, fantastic user interface. With such that it gives access or it makes um, machine learning deployment quite easier instead of writing some crazy lines of code and so because if you're actually using Flask, you know, your Flask, you actually have to import, you know, from Flask, import request and JSON or thereabout. Then you have to call specify your app which is equals to Flask. Then you have to call in, define a particular function and what have you. But you don't need that in your in your Streamlit. Your Streamlit is just is just straightforward. Your Streamlit is just straightforward. It's nothing. It's not really so complex like that. Streamlit is just it's just straightforward. What you have to do is just to import Streamlit. Yeah, you just have to import it. But before importing it, you have to install first. You have to install Streamlit because if you don't have it, you have to install it first before you can actually import. So if you import Streamlit, then your Python package already knows that okay, this guy is actually working with what you Streamlit, then you can actually proceed. But before you actually deploy your model, there's something we actually called pickle. Yeah, pickle. Yeah, that's what I did there. Such that afterwards, I legit afterwards to save my models first. Yeah, I have to save my model. I have to save my model first because if I don't save my model, I won't be able to actually open it up in my in my app. Are you guys with me? If I had not saved my model and I actually want to deploy this guy, this particular app would not recognize, it wouldn't recognize that okay, this particular model is saved somewhere. Yeah, that's why I actually have to save my model first. And now this thing that I actually did here, pickle.dump model comma open or whatsoever. Now I can actually do it. Now I can actually do it. I can actually do it like this. Pickle. I guys with me. Underscore close. Yeah, is equals to is it pickle underscore close or thereabouts? I'm coming. Okay, yeah. Pickle underscore close. Then I would now I'll open this particular guy. Yeah, open. Then call in the model. Let's say rf yeah underscore dot pkl. Then I have to read this particular guy rbs. Cool. Yeah, sure. Sorry, is it RB or sorry WB? Yeah, cool. So now having done this, now I can now come back and write pickle dot dump. Are you guys with me? Sorry guys. Pickle dot dump. That means I want to dump this particular guy, into into a specific file. Let's call the file. Let's call the file a model file. Okay, are you with me? Then comma my pickle underscore close. Do you guys get the gist? Do you guys get the gist? It is either I write it in this way. So either I write it in this way, guys. So either I write it in this way, or a simpler way to actually do that is this. Do you guys get the gist? So now, if you guys are actually wondering how did I go about this or that, but this is actually a breakdown. This is a breakdown. Yeah, this is a breakdown of this particular guy. This is a breakdown, such that I actually gave this particular guy a variable named pico underscore close, and actually opened it, such that I have to what save the pickled file. Are you with me? I have to save the pickled file, and I now came back to what to dump that particular file. Are you with me? Are you guys with me? So that's just the breakdown of this particular code. Yeah, that's just the breakdown of the particular code. It is nothing hard. So now I haven't done that. I haven't saved my file. I haven't saved my file. Let me run this particular guy. Yeah, I haven't saved my file and everything. I haven't saved my file. Then I can now come and what and create my app. I can now come and what and create my app for what for the deployment. Are you guys with me? I can now come and what and create my app. Now, when you actually want to create your app, guys, when you actually want to create your app, you can actually come here to your VS Code and what and create new files. Hi guys, when you create this new file, click on create new file, then you now give your new file a particular name, app.py. Now, VS Code is actually showing me an error because it's telling me that a file or folder app.py already what exists at that particular location. Meaning I have what app.py already. So I don't want to name it as app.py. Let me name it something else. Let me name it okay, house prediction app. Let's see house H prediction HPA out prediction app dot what dot py. Now you can see I can if I actually click enter, it actually take me to a what to a new note a new script entirely. But instead of stressing myself on writing the code again, I'm coming. I've written the code already, so I deleted my HP.py. Now listing good guys. When you actually create your app.py, when you create it, then you have to create a requirement.txt, such that whatever you need will actually be in your requirement.txt. Now I need I need Streamlit, I need scikit-learn, I need NumPy, I need pandas, I need matplotlib, I need seaborn. Now, note something. It is either now for those that are just starting, yeah, for us that are just starting out, yeah. You might actually encounter some errors if you actually want to do this particular nonsense on your own, your requirement of txt. But if you actually want to install all these guys, instead of installing them one by one by saying pip install, I'm coming. Jesus, yeah. Instead of doing this pip install Streamlit, like instead of doing it one by one, pip install Streamlit and what have you, I can just come here and do pip install and this R sign. Yeah, so it's really important for my requirement.txt. Requirement of what.txt. So if you run this particular guy, it would what? It would install everything needed to actually install. This is why I don't want to run it is because I actually have all these guys installed on my on my terminal. I actually have everything installed, so that's why I don't want to run them. But for those of us that actually don't have them installed, please, you should do this, please. Christ Jesus. Yeah, you should do this pip install, then this your R whatever requirement.txt. Please note that. So I haven't installed everything. I can now come to my app and start doing the needed. I'll import Streamlit as str because I need it. Import pickle and import pandas as PD. Now I've imported all of those. I actually want to create a Streamlit based app. Yes or yes. Now for your Streamlit, you can tend to embed some HTML stuff to it. Yeah, you can actually embed some HTML stuff to it, just like what I have here. Just like what I have here. I actually called the main function. Are you guys with me? Called it, but In most cases, yeah, in most cases, in most cases, in most cases, in most cases, I I really don't call in this def main functions. Are you guys with me? But this was actually called this guy was because when I was actually running this particular guy, when I was running this particular guy with the normal way, with the normal Streamlit guy, so I was returning an error. So I actually just used my knowledge on the flags or thereabout and what have you to just call in a particular function and embed everything I need into that particular function. Are you guys with me? But in most cases, this is actually the pattern. This is actually the pattern. Yeah, this is actually the pattern to actually follow. If you're actually dealing with number underscore like number type, then you do this longitude, you call in, you give it like you call in the variable, then give st the word number underscore input or thereabout. Are you guys with me? So now in this point, I actually was calling what I called a particular function, my main function, yes. Then what I assigned some, I did some HTML stuff to it. I did some HTML stuff to it. I actually said it earlier that well, your Streamlit, you can actually embed some HTML stuff to it, yeah. So yeah, actually what did some HTML stuff to it. I did some HTML stuff to it, but what I gave it the style, I called it div, cool. Gave it the background color white. I gave it the padding. I gave it an header one, and I gave it the color to be black, and I actually gave the title to be what? Oh, guys, please chill for me, please. I'm sorry. I need to do something, please. A minute, please, guys. A minute. All right, so guys, let's finish up here. Let's finish up. Let's finish up. Let's finish up. So now, I actually embedded some HTML stuff into my what into my Streamlit. Guys, I embedded some HTML stuff into my Streamlit. Yeah. So doing that, I then came back to calling this my particular guy my st by giving the markdown by saying st the markdown style, then what's on save underscore allow HTML to be what to be true. Are you with me? Cool. So now what I did here was I tend to what to actually split it somehow, but actually align some parts to be on my left hand side and some parts to be on my right hand side. Are you guys with me? Cool. So now actually specify that what left comma right to be what exit the columns to comma or whatever. Yeah. So then I said, sorry, I'm actually in a hurry because I have to leave here like now. Yeah, I have to leave late. Oh, so I'm actually an eat up, so they're actually planning to close. So that's I'm actually in a hurry. So now longitude is equals to what? Actually assign it to what? Left dot number underscore input because I actually have to what? To input a particular number. Are you with me? Latitude to the same thing. Housing median A the same thing. So practically everything is what actually numbers. Are you guys with me? So then I came here to specify the button. I button is equals to what? St dot button what? Predict. Are you with me, guys? So now, and I came back and I said, what if button, like to assign this button variable, and I said if button whatever, then for result is equal to predict. Then I actually called in all these the column guys. I called everything. Then I came back to see st dot success is what the value of the house is what is this particular thing. Now you guys please note something. I've actually done everything that will be in the interface of my what of my Streamlit app. Like I've done everything that is needed to be in my Streamlit app. I've done everything such that I've actually done everything needed. I've done my longitude, done my latitude, done everything needed. to be on my Streamlit app, and I've actually assigned my button to be part to be this. But you agree with me that from my on tight, like from my line of code earlier, I actually what save the train model, but then I actually have to what to open it. Yeah, to load my train model. Are you with me? To load it into my what my particle to my app. Are you guys with me? And that's what I actually did here. That what with I opened it. Are you guys with me? I opened it and did the necessary things to do, and I created a list for everything and what have you. Then I actually now said that prediction is equals to model that predicts based on my data frame. Then I said result is equals to integer prediction. Are you guys with me? Then I now came back to say, yeah, if name is equal to what to main, then um bring back the what the main function. Yeah. If name is equals to main, then sorry. Then bring out the what the main function back. Are you guys with me? I'm so sorry. I'm actually in a hurry because I actually want to close down this place. So now guys, let's take a look at this thing. Yeah. Oh sweet Jesus. Okay, sorry. I'm coming. Okay, button. All right. Cool. Big button. Cool. Then it's not giving me any errors again. So now I can now come here and write. I'll now come here and write Streamlit run app dot what dot py. If I run this particular guy, it would actually run in my what in my local host, because I've not I've not uploaded it to my GitHub and deployed it to the Streamlit cloud. But don't worry, guys. We'll talk about Streamlit cloud. I don't know, probably in our later class or thereabouts. We'll have to talk about Streamlit and what Streamlit cloud or thereabout. Now, running this guy, it will actually run in my local host. So let's chill and see how it will run in my local host. Let's just chill and see how to run in my local host. Let's just chill and see how to run in my local host. Let's just chill and see how to run in my local host. I don't know why it is taking so much time. Big man Dave, I did call you this man with answer. Okay, let's see, guys. I don't know why it is actually taking longer hours to run. But then you guys should just take note that that if I actually if I actually use my Streamlit run app.py or thereabout, to definitely run my app on the local host. And when it actually run my app on the local host, I'll actually be able to see from my local browser or thereabout. So when I actually see from my local browser and it's working perfectly fine, then I can now deploy it to my Streamlit cloud. Are you guys with me? Now, I actually told Mike that I'll actually teach you guys Git and what and GitHub, but I doubt if I'll be able to teach you guys that today. So, Samike, please, Samike, can you come in? Hello, Samike. Hello, Samike. Hello, Samike. Hello, Samike. Samike, please come in.
Well, you guys are already we're already organizing it without data comes in. I think just
Okay, yeah. So it's actually it's running in my local host already. Yeah, it's running in my local host already. So what you guys will just do is just to click Control and Enter to actually allow this guy run in my local host. So it's as simple as that. So now in today's class, what we've actually covered we've covered building our simple regression model and deploying them. I guess if time permits me, I don't know, but if I actually get to where I'm going to by God's grace, possibly we'll actually talk about GitHub and Git, that is uploading your files, uploading your files to GitHub and what have you. And please note, I'll actually create a GitHub organization whereby I can actually push up the code for every one of us to see, for every one of you guys to see. So I'll actually do just that before the day runs out. I'll do just that. I promise to do just that so you guys can actually see the code and understand the codes in it. Is that clear? So okay, I guess it is. This guy's actually telling me something here. Okay, so hello, Sir Mike. Hello, Sir Mike. Hello, Sir Mike. Hello, Sir Mike. Sir Mike. Uh, okay, guys. I guess we've been able to we've been able to talk about the fact about our building a simple regression model and also model deployment. But please and please, guys, I'm begging you for one thing. Try and read up about Streamlit. Try and read up about Streamlit, please. Try and read up about Streamlit, please. Try and read up about Streamlit. Yeah, please and please try and read up about Streamlit. I don't know. I'm trying to actually reach out to Mike, but it's not. I don't know. So I guess we actually come to the end. Yeah, actually come to the end of today's class. Thanks, guys, for joining. Thanks so much, guys, for joining. We'll actually see in our next class. But please, in case if actually share the codes to our GitHub community, please. If I share the codes to our GitHub community, please, you guys should try to what? Try to run it first in your local host before you actually do anything. Yeah, I guess my local host is actually trying to do something. It's telling me to please wait. It's telling me to please wait. So let's see what he asked for. But please, so in case if it does not come on, so please, you guys should please and please try to run it in your local host first, and possibly we can just fix up about, let me say, if about 20 or 30 minutes class tomorrow on Monday, then I'll actually teach you guys how to go about your Git and GitHub. So then we actually know how to deploy on our Streamlit cloud. Is that clear, guys? So thank you guys and God bless you. Hello, Sir Mike. Hello, Sir Mike. Oh, Sir Mike. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. 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 My guy is running already. So you guys can see how easy. Yeah? I guess it has not finished running. It's still running. It's still running. But this is actually a typical example of how your guy is. Yeah. Your Streamlit cloud. This is how to be your Streamlit app. This is actually a typical example of how it is. This is a typical example of how it is. Such that we have your enter the locative in negative number. You see it, enter the latitude in positive number, enter the median age of the building, how many rooms are there in the house, how many bedrooms are there in the house, population of people within a block, population of a household, and what have you. So you guys have gotten a glimpse of how this guy works. But please and please try to run it in your local host and you see what we have. So thanks so much, guys, for joining us. I guess I would have to leave the studio like now because I've been reaching out to Mike, but it's not here. So I guess I have to leave the studio now. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yes.